Hey folks, it's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. Across the Red River is a beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. And it's a fairly nice night. And I decided to come out and have a little health walk. I like to do that once in a while. It's really good to get out and walk. Uh, it's recommended if you can about 30 minutes a day at least, you know. That's what my doctor says anyway. Uh, and he ought to know. He's a doctor. I don't know. Um, so that's what I'm gonna do. I usually, when I come out and I walk, it's like, uh, uh, yeah, a lot longer than 30 minutes. I just get like in that zone, you know. I hope everybody's having um, a really good experience in their life or whatever. That's really kind of cool. Wish people good things. So I'm looking forward to in a few weeks. Mid August, you know, there is GeekCon, which is our Comic Con here in Shreveport. It's going to be great. Uh, the weekend before that, now I'm not going to this, but I'll talk about it anyway. And it is the Humor and Harmony Festival that is happening at the Municipal Auditorium. And uh, it's these guys are doing it here. Uh, G Unit Studios or G Unit Productions, whatever. So, um, and nah, just out walking around. What I'm gonna do is probably like stroll over towards the river uh, and check out the lights on the bridge. You know, um, so. Uh, I don't really have anything to talk about. I just have to get out and walk. Um, this bracelets and stuff. Some of them I buy, uh, some of them I make. Gotta have gotta have hobbies and stuff. So, uh, about one block over is one of the oldest cemeteries in the South, and it's not very big. But I uh, uh, don't go strolling through there in the middle of the night because who wants to bring ghosts back home with you? But I have actually gone walking through there at night. I'm just whatever. And there was a huge outbreak early in Shreveport's history, early of a yellow fever. Uh, Went through, took a lot of lives, and there's actually like a mass grave. People were dying so harshly and rapidly and in such big numbers that they had to put them in a mass grave. There, people just didn't have money. I guess I don't know. They're in a mass grave, so it's that's kind of cool. Uh, Not cool, but I mean, historically, it's a point of interest. Okay, um, so what I'm gonna do is, I want to certainly invite you to come check out Shreveport Bossier. Lots of fun things to do here. There's always some sort of festival or concert or shows that are coming up. I think I'm going to stroll over by the Strand Theater in a little bit on my way to the bridge, and we'll see what's coming up. I don't know the new season for the upcoming Strand Theater. The shows that are coming, they're posted, so we'll see. I haven't really checked it out yet, but it's nice to know what's coming in case there's something that I want to see. And there's always the uh, shows as they fit in between the schedule. That's cool. Uh, Municipal Auditorium is always good. We've got a pretty large arena over in Bossier City where they do concerts too. So, yeah, I love concerts. Okay, for right now, I'm gonna pause the video and turn it back on when I'm in front of the Strand. Okay, so here as I cross the street, I'm coming up on the marquee for the Strand and the windows and everything. See, this building, the high rise there. I used to live in that one, and my uh, window used to overlook in this direction, and I actually could see what was going on at the Strand. How people gather out front, dressed in their fine coats and everything. It's great. So it's fun to get dressed up and go out. Even if someone like me has to save up to do things like that. I don't. I can't just, hey, on a short notice go to something like that. I've got to save up. But it's worth it. An investment in the arts, I like to say. I've heard this, and I've borrowed it from whence I heard. Uh, the investment in the arts is an investment in oneself. So, and here, aha, I'll show you the marquee. We're going to be underneath it. So, but who is this? Oh, yeah, that is Leanne Rhymes. How do I get through one night without you? Okay, so I don't know Black Jacket Symphony, but I guess they're covering Led Zeppelin. Uh, I maybe could pass on the Adams Family unless I was gonna be with some people that enjoyed it. I can pass on the Indigo Girls. A Christmas Carol. That's kind of cool. If it's a well rated program, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Oh, and Ben Folds from Ben Folds 5. That song, right? She's a brick and he did like uh, what's that other one? You know, uh, I'm more than a man in a phony red sheet. That one about the Superman. One of the Superman songs that came out. There was that one, and then there was the one about kryptonite. So that's kind of cool. Let's go step over here and we can check out the marquee. It's a pretty cool marquee. Oh, it's not lit though. Pardon me, it's not lit up. It looks nicer when all the lights are out there. Okay, so I'm gonna stroll down by the river, and I'm not gonna jump back over to Texas Street. I'm just gonna go down, stay on this trajectory, because this actually take me right into the Riverfront Park, which is where I want to be. It's got a nice breeze going. It's great. I'm gonna pause the video and I'll pick it back up on the riverfront. Well, I'll be there in just a little bit, but I feel like I've just about sweat off all of my Aqua di Gio for the evening. I'm really careful. I have this, it's my favorite cologne these days, and I have some, but I only use that one because it's pricey on nights when I, really want to feel a little extra. And most other times it's like, okay, you're like some sort of uh, you know cologne or something from that's a lot less expensive will do. But I have a lot of the lower costing colognes, and then one or two really higher end colognes. Not that they smell better, but I like the smell, and if they're not uh, what should I say, if there aren't copies of them or whatever. In nature you can't copyright a fragrance. You can pull a recipe together and own it, but an odor or something you can't, or a fragrance or something you can't, like, just, oh my god. you know but This reminds me of when I lived in Florida. I lived in Homestead, Florida, and not too far from Homestead in Florida City, there's like a conservatory where they have like a lot of exotic plants and everything. People go there and they tour it and everything. And there's a plant that we come across, and it is the plant by which they make a lipstick, Revlon number 5. And it was great. So, but yeah, and they ask you how you can touch the touch inside of the blooms, and it's a very potent, like okay, like it stains, like you touch it, your skin has to exfoliate for about half a week before it comes off. So yeah. uh, but that's that. Yeah, a lot of nature, a lot of fragrances of cosmetics and are inspired by things that occur naturally in nature. And due to that fact, uh, you can't really copyright them uh, unless you really come up with an original uh, uh, formula. Uh, then maybe you could do that. But you know, I don't know why I got on that topic. Oh yeah, because I no longer smell like Aqua di Gio. Aha, and of course during the summer we have the farmers market. Okay, and I'm almost at the river, just right down there. Uh, Basically, the equivalent of 3 blocks, give or take. And then I'll be looking at the river. Okay, so I'm down here walking the riverfront. People with lit up electric wheels, like a bunch of them. Must be like a group or something, uh, like a e club or something. I don't know if they're electric bikes, but they were lit up, so that's kind of cool. There was a guy a couple of years ago that would do tours of downtown on e-bikes, and so I wonder if that's not something that they're not doing again. Like if he didn't start that back up. As I'm wandering around, if he has, then I'll run into him and I'll find out about it. But yeah, that's something that used to happen, and maybe it is again. Uh, it was just his little business. His little let's go down here and uh, look around at Shreveport on bicycle tours or whatever. So that's kind of cool. That's neat. And if it's so, then I hope he's doing well. It was a lot of people, and if that's what it is. And then of course there are, people do come down here and hang out at night. Hey, the way you survive in this world is to mind your business. But they're probably coming out. Sweethearts maybe coming to look at the river. I see a lot of couples and stuff when I'm down here. Sometimes on a uh, lovely evening. So that's kind of cool. Places to sit and rest. I'm not really going to be doing any of the stopping to look at the art or whatever, because I just kind of want to get to the river, which I'm almost here. So. Um, and then I get mucusy, so I had to spit. I'm sorry, I should have paused the phone. I'm so terrible. It's like spitting in front of other people. I hate to do that. So, uh, now what is this about? This must just be here to be out of the way. Uh, um, during the holidays, some of the holiday videos I've done uh, at Christmas, and I'm not doing a Christmas in July video. That's not what this is. But sometimes in Christmas, well, there's always a huge tree, and then it varies the decorations from year to year. But it's usually pretty nice. The lights that are down here. Uh, so let's take a look at the bridge. This is approaching it from this end. We'll get to see the red, white, and blue support for America, and I guess the Olympics that are going to be starting up in a day or so if they haven't already. I don't know, or maybe I'm way behind. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the Olympics, but I do love support. But I'm also noticing that it's an animated bridge. Like what I mean by that is that the lights change, like LED lights in my lamp at home, uh, and you know, programmable LED lights. Wait for it. I'm looking at the lights above my glasses now because they're tinted. There it goes. A little mini light spasm. And I love the reflections on the water and the lights of the casinos in the distance. We should call that effect. Bridgegasm. Or bridge spasm. But no. I've got a blue sense of humor. So it'll probably, yeah. Sorry, I don't mean any offense. I do see that more LED lights have been added to the fountain. Uh, but they're red, so no, no. I actually don't know if that's lighting or if that is just reflections. Looks a little red on top of the water there. No, I think it's the reflection from some of these red lights and casinos and stuff reflecting on there. Yeah, because water's like flowing over it. So I was like, oh my god, but that's kind of cool. It looks like it's lighted, but it's water. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go over there and check it out. Okay, so this is a very interesting construct because that is a string of lights, and somehow the water is flowing over it. So I guess it's engineered that way. But yeah, I didn't think that I had noticed that particular effect before, and so that's kind of cool. That's neat. Okay, so uh, over to the platform in front of the aquarium. Okay, so here we are, looking at the bridge a little bit more closely now. Um, something that's lit up but spaced. It looks actually brighter from a distance because it seems as if the light extends further, and then when you're closer to where the light is directly coming from, and the effects seem closer to the source of the light, and you see more space in between. the various sources of the lighted effect on a structure like this bridge here. So uh, in some cases, you really see it from a distance, and it's a lot more vibrant than even up close. And when I'm walking over it, it's like, oh well, you don't really have like you're not really blinded by the effects of these LED lights because they're spaced far enough apart. One of the reasons I came out here and made this trip is that it just wasn't time for me to start cooking. But as I've come out here and I've walked and talked about not much, just some of my favorite things, I've actually made myself hungry and thirsty. So I'm probably just about to wrap this up, hot foot it back home. Uh, and yeah, by the time I start cooking and then finish cooking, it'll be close to midnight, and I will have really obeyed my diet again. So that's crucial. One of the things that I want to start doing though, and I've been going to the gym with a friend of mine a little bit more frequently, but I want to start focusing more on upper body, chest and arms and everything. I've done a little bit more research, and it's helped with body positivity because a lot of what we see, especially like in this area up here, where some people have those really great, popping pecs and everything, and some people it's a little bit more shallow. No matter what you do, which is cool. It has a lot to do with genetics, and some people have a very narrow origin. See, muscle growth happens from origin to insertion, the same way that we would do massage. From you know, uh, origin to insertion, from where the muscle starts. Oh, I just lost that. I didn't lose anybody. Cool. There we go. So, wrap it up. Back around my neck. It's something like this. You don't want to wear if you're going to like talk smack. You might get choked out. Uh, but what was I getting at? Yeah, no. And that has a lot to do with like, the deep crevice that guys would get. Some of us, when we start working, yes, we will build and we will get definition and we will get volume, but that real deep in between, you know, uh, man cleavage or whatever, I don't know what you want to call it. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've seen the physique magazines or whatever. Uh, that happens with a very narrow or shallow um, point of insertion for the muscles, and it's just like some people are, I don't know, naturally a little bit leaner. I tend to be one of those guys that naturally I'm a little bit leaner. Like the typical guy though, I will put on weight around my love handles and my back, and that's also the last place where it comes off of. And so I want to be mindful of that, and just kind of like knowing a little bit about biology helps with body positivity. I have a decent shape for someone of my age group and everything, but I've never been one to get like pile on muscle. So, uh, so what I want to do is I want to focus on building where I can, but focus on cuts, getting cuts, so that my muscles uh, will be they'll look cut instead of overly bulky. So that's kind of cool. And they're doing something with this coffee shop that used to be here, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. It hasn't been in business since it was a coffee shop, and they used to do like slam poetry and everything. It would come down here and check it out. So I'm excited to see what they'll do with it. So it looks like we have potentially another business opening up down here. This used to be really, really uh, going right before COVID. Like this was a pretty busy little area, so that was neat. And then, of course, COVID slowed down a lot of the growth that was happening in downtown Shreveport. So yeah, uh, we shall see. Let me put you the video on pause again, and I'll pick it up after I get past some of this, you know, traffic and stuff. So hang on. Aha. So we have these guys. They've been here for like forever. So a lot of these empty spots down here that have uh, G Unit Studios has purchased many of the properties down here for revitalization and use for themselves, as well as looking forward to investing in more affordable housing, which is something that is needed. So yeah. Um, so it's kind of cool now. There's going to be a shift in the landscape, and you're going to start seeing it probably in about 2 years time from now. Things kind of slowed down, like I said, after COVID, and then some of those plans are starting back up. uh, One of the things I'm excited about, and I've talked about this, um, and we can see it when we get near my building where I'm about to go in, but they have taken the building and they have stripped it down to the bare I-beams, the iron bones of the building. And they're going to enforce that structure and build around it, and the artistic design of what is going to be the new state building, and that will be up and going in 2, maybe 3 years. Always, when large things like that, I've learned to give at least an extra year. Uh, and if it gets done on time, I'm so surprised. But the artistic design of that building, oh my God, wonderful, um, beautiful. On the on the downside, it's going to be an attractive place for people who want to hop off of the ledge. I hope that those windows do not open because if it were on the ground, the ledges, the couple of ledges that are going to be given the artistic flair to the building, if it were on the ground, it would be a skateboarder's dream, because they look like ramps going down, like one or two, like on the outside. The ledges come across, like say here, they'll come across. Where am I? They'll come across, but then they kind of like will go down at a slant and connect. Uh, Musically, I can say it looks like when you bend a string to bend a note when you're playing guitar, if you know what I'm talking about. Basically, a slope. The ledges are going to have slopes, but very, very balanced in an asymmetrical way. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Um, we have, a collector of some of our buildings that lives in Monroe because he's really into, I guess, preservation of some classic for Shreveport and southern United States, and affinity for some of the architecture uh, that he wants to preserve, and there's something to be said for some of that. But then there's a lot of modernization that's going to be happening in the next 2 to 5 years. So I'm excited. The cityscape of downtown Shreveport, it's going to change, uh, and we'll have you know uh, kind of a marriage of ultra neo modern with some of the classic designs. So cool. Which are classic designs here. Uh, Spanish influence, uh, some Greek Roman influence in the structures. I mean, and it just depends upon who was building the buildings at the time. Um, Walking up to the library to see if there's any. Uh, no particular notices about when it's going to be open. I miss having it open this close to where I live, but I do see they are actively doing work because these bags of debris are different than the last time I checked. So that's cool. So as long as I know that there's work going on, uh, there was a massive leak, and you can see some. I can see. If I can't get in here, eh, I guess not. I guess not. Okay. Yeah, maybe right here. There's just on this first floor. There's water damage from the uh, damage that occurred over COVID when everybody was at home, and then there was a leak that happened, and it really screwed up the fourth floor. And basically, I hope uh, the archives of hard copies of our city's records and history and everything. I'm pretty sure most of that, if not all, was able to get preserved, but the building itself, uh, damage was all the way through it. So, uh, and it happened over COVID. It shut down at the beginning. When things shut down, it shut down, and then when they went to reopen, it was like, oh my God, this is really bad. So, but we have plenty of libraries throughout Shreveport and Bossier, so I'm not without that. And so that's kind of cool. So I thought he was talking to me. I'm people tend to be friendly down here, even transients, people who are outside or whatever. They're generally respectful and polite, and they are to me because I live in the neighborhood and I guess we know each other. Um, so yeah. I love some of our murals. Some of the things about community renewal means that sometimes some older designs, we may be saying goodbye to. Uh, but I do know that as of now, in the next several years, enough of the preservation is in place that we will have some fine examples of our architectural history, in light of the renewal. This will become an example, even though it's relatively new, within the last what uh, 15 years, 16, maybe 20, whatever. Some of these structures that are by any standard now would be vintage, and that one's been redone because it was struck by a car in an accident, um, and actually acted as a buffer to protect the building behind it. Um, that those structures will be considered classic, and they'll sit right in with the new stuff, and of course. Most cities you go to, like I visited last year, Kansas City, LED lit up all over the place, especially in the, what do they call it? It's an entertainment food district. I want to say power district or something like that. It was something like that. Something, the electric district or the power district. I don't know. That's whatever they called it. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, they had this whole area. Dallas, you go to Dallas, it's like the whole city's just lit up. This, uh, I don't know what the displays are when they're going to start. I do know this is one of the properties uh, that is purchased by G Unit, and it's kind of cool. And the RMB. The R&B party. Okay, so that's another event coming up. So that's interesting. So now I'm going to come in and kind of peek through some windows that I had not before. I don't remember this particular side of the building. Now, I don't know. Maybe I don't come here. Maybe I just don't notice it. But just wide open windows means that people can look, as long as we're not like peeping Tommy. That's a great structure, this building inside of here. And I love this split level and everything. Just whoever built that. Now, it used to be, oh, I know who it is. They used to have a building called, next door to it used to be next door to the art space, and it was called Parish Taco. And the couple, they kept the business going for a while, and then they decided restauranting is not for them, but they wanted to do a co-op, and so that's what they've uh, took this building, which used to be a studio, a music studio. People could go to it, but they took it over and they turned it into a co-op, and so that's what that is. And then it may have been transferred ownership again, or certainly the name, and hence the marquee. That's you'll see it in my if you scroll down to different videos or whatever. So as I walk up and down Texas Street, I've talked about it. Um, the LED signage. Okay, I'm not that far from my apartments now. I actually can see them right over there. So that is really kind of cool. And, downtown Shreveport is a really safe neighborhood. Um, and how we keep it safe is we don't really talk a lot of smack, get in people's faces and everything like that. Setting ego aside, if you have an altercation or whatever, uh, keep your wits about you. And basically, I don't know. Don't. There's a way to stand up for oneself, uh, and I do without, because I do. If I have to, I stand up for myself. There's a way to do it without crossing those lines and without the need for, I don't know, cutting somebody up or shooting them or whatever. So there's positive ways towards conflict resolution. The big thing, and agreement is not a requirement, but a big thing when it comes to conflict resolution and resolving, violence between the citizenry of any neighborhood. Be listen to the other person's point of view, take it in. And most of the time, you'll find that in turn, they'll be receptive to your point of view, and communication can happen without violence. And you know, uh, there will always be um, you know uncontrollable you know elements of crime uh, in any place where there's a population of, I don't know, say above 100. I guess, I don't know. I'm just, whatever. But no, any kind of metro centric place, there's the potential for crime, and not even just a potential, but there is crime, and you know, uh, personal squabbles that can potentially escalate to violence, or whatever. But it doesn't have to. That's what I'm talking about. Just um, the best the best way to resolve conflict is to communicate honestly, and hopefully that will inspire other people to communicate efficiently. When we've gone through a few generations of oh, you're gonna respect me, or I'm gonna fucking make you respect me, that kind of, we've gone through that kind of thing, for a few generations. And I don't know, what has it escalated to? Uh, just across the world, I think that hearing each other and then knowing specifically, breaking down those walls of communication, uh, the misunderstandings, the miscommunications, getting through that, taking the time to hear each other and understand each other can help us understand truly what we agree on, what we don't agree on, why we agree on, and why we don't agree on. And gee, uh, it sounds wonderful. Um, that's the kind of thing that I'm focusing on in my life. Uh, 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 can't fix the world, but if I can work on fixing the man, you know, then perhaps maybe one day the world will fix itself. Okay, I'm here. I'm nearly home. I'm gonna say good night. Uh, peace, love, and light. God bless.